Howdy folks, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. A fella by the name of Joshua Burden asked me last week, he said, Kirk, can you show me how and explain how you build a garden wall, a concrete garden wall? And I said, absolutely not, man. All I am is an applicator. All we do is apply the finish coats to it. However, I told him next week we're going to be at a buddy of mine's house and we're going to be doing the block from him for him. Anyway, this is Bob. Bob can give you an idea of what he did, Joshua, as far as to do these retaining walls. And by the way, you're never going to find one this complicated. Want to explain to him, Bob, what you somewhat did?
Sure, we had to dig a 8-foot foundation for this. This is a 6-inch wide, 18-inch tall sitting wall. We framed it with plywood, bent it to the extent that it would in some places to get it as complicated as this, and then I had to hire a precast concrete guy out in Hayward to cast these, and he had to come out and make forms or templates to make the forms out of JKS precast concrete at jks-precast.com. You can reach him if you want, but he does a really good job and he's real easy to work with. But we had to form this all up. This is pretty much built like a foundation would be, with the plywood and bracing to go along with it. You got to be very careful with this kind of wall because it's all poured concrete and there's a lot of pressure on it, so you don't want to have any blowouts. You want to make sure it's formed up really good.
Wow, if you remember his website, you must have been talking with him a lot of times. Well, Jay and I, what we're going to do is we're going to spread an acrylic over this, and I should have told Bob this last week. Dig around here and give me at least an inch. So we just did it and made a big mud pie. So we're going to be laying in mud as we spread this. I'm going to spread it. Jay's going to float right behind me, and we'll show you a small area of how we apply this acrylic finish over this concrete pretty garden block wall. Okay guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread this, and fortunately it's the last thing we're going to do here. It's going to take us about 3 hours to spread this retainer out. What I'll generally do is I will do the top, and Jay knows not to take his float and touch that brick, so this is mighty simple for us. I take it here, there, and I'm just going to follow this around. Just going to lay in the mud. Take it here. Once we get going, we'll get some momentum. Down here. This is what you call a fancy garden wall. I'm going to take a little bit here. Right there, and I just keep scooting along in the mud. This is for a float finish. If we were doing a skip trowel or something different, or a cementitious finish, Santa Barbara smooth, well, I wouldn't need Jay floating. We'd just double it up. But for a float finish, this is the way to get it. Okay guys, getting there. I was going to show you too. Some of you folks might say, I don't have the luxury of having that second guy. If you don't have the luxury of having a second guy, well, what you can do is spread it yourself, like what I'm going to show you. And generally, guys, we do these videos to show what we do. Can you guys do this? Well, if you're very familiar with the tools, maybe. But this takes a lot of practice. Okay, one guy spreading, then I take the float and I just float around, and always float the new work into the existing. And this is probably one of the most difficult finishes you can do, because it is, darn it. Okay, this is a 2030, which is fine aggregate or sand. But if you're doing it yourself, that's the way to do it, just like that. If you get any holidays because your trowel is picking up crap from the ground, just clean it off and start again. Okay guys, we are done with this fancy garden wall. Let me tell you some tips about what we've done here. Now, we put an acrylic membrane over here. You might say, man, why go through all that work when we could paint it? We used this Dryvit acrylic. Dryvit's one of the better acrylic products they make for spreading. He went through all this trouble because this particular product is about 20 times thicker than paint, and it'll last a long time. They call it maintenance free. The color just stays on there. It's got the sand and the acrylic in it, so again, it's like about 20 coats of paint. Will it waterproof this or water resistant it from the coming through? No product does that, guys. But anyway, we just wanted to show you a fancy wall and answer a question that a fella emailed me, because, well, I'm always saying, if you guys have any questions or need to know anything of the trade we do, just subscribe below or place a comment and say, gee, Kirk, how do you do this? And if we don't do it, like building this wall, we always come upon something that we can use for practical reasons, like Bob answered that question for you. Anyhow, guys, my name is Kirk. Jason on the camera also. We thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next project.